didn't realize they had an arch here, and I was like, oh, well, now I don't have to build one. I was thinking just taking two great swords and putting them in like foam stone and then running like branches over the top of it. Yeah. But that was just idea in my head.
And his beautiful bride, Kim. We are.
Well, I'm a second child of two English teachers.
My dad is a retired gunnery sergeant. I served 20 years in the Marine Corps. We've been kind of bouncing around different countries, different states, and then when I moved to Cincinnati, it was our first home. And ironically, Clay's grandparents actually lived in the neighborhood that we moved into.
We missed each other in elementary school, but we did go to the same middle school.
We were in 6th grade together, had no classes still, but we were in a musical together called Rocking in the 50s and 60s.
I was Hawaiian Elvis.
He was Elvis.
Yeah, you weren't expecting the moonwalk. They never do. She thought I was attractive, I believe.
So it was my singing career peak and his stage work as well. I went to Cincinnati State to become a medical assistant.
Then we didn't meet again for 10 years. Milford's so big, you know, everybody's like, oh, you guys have known each other your whole life. And it's like, we knew of each other, but we kind of ran in different groups.
Yeah, we never connected.
Would you like to hold this?
I don't know. What's a good
Clink. It was Bumble.
I was about to remove all the apps just because I kept seeing Patience on there.
She didn't have her last name on it.
A little bit of banter, and then he disclosed that he had no idea who I was.
Different hair colors, she got tattoos.
We were supposed to meet up at a restaurant, have a chat.
I'm not a sports guy, but I did know that the playoffs were going on and she didn't want to meet at my house.
The restaurant that we chose that was close enough to his place, beat-ups.
40 minutes to get at a table. I guess we're gonna have to go back to my house.
So we actually ended up going back to his place. He made this really intense like man sandwich. There was definitely a half pound of meat on this sandwich, and that was not appropriate for a first date.
She ended up really liking it. We started talking, and then I jumped the gun and I was like, we're going to Greece, Austria, Hungary, and Germany for Oktoberfest here. Would you want to come along? And she agreed to go on that.
On the vest, all through the vest. Yeah.
Well, you know, traveling is so intimate, and like you basically have to be with somebody, so you can kind of use that as a bit of a litmus test. If there's any hidden craziness, it's going to come out when you're spending multiple sets of 24 hours together.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Kim and Clay, I want to welcome you and thank you for being here today. As the great J.R.R. Tolkien once wrote, I would rather share one lifetime with you than face all the ages of this world alone. And as the great T.A. Swift once sang, I've loved you 3 summers now, honey, but I want them all.
Eventually you get to the point where if you're going to say something and the other person can say it before you have a chance to, you know, just pluck a thought from your own head, that's when you start to consider that, okay, maybe this is my person.
The dim flicker of the parking lot light where we first bumbled back into one another will forever shine as one of the brightest beacons of my life.
The high school boy I passed every day leaving yearbook blossomed into a handsome young man who rolled up in my dream car with a dark sense of humor and a fringe jacket. From our very first conversation, all I've ever wanted to do afterwards is to spend more time with you. You've revived things in me that I didn't know ever died.
And somehow, despite all the times their paths could have crossed in the halls of Milford schools, their love story didn't begin until later in life. Looking at them now, I think we can all agree it was well worth the wait.
My mom, who had been told by both my brother and I that we were never getting married because my brother has a whole spiel about blood diamonds and how it's all a scam. And my mom had rings from both of our grandmothers, and still the only time I've ever been able to pay for dinner for her father was because I was like, look, this will make a great story that you can tell at the wedding. You can say like, yeah, Clay paid me for my daughter in a pretzel and a burger.
Oh, hell yeah. I believe there were some bars of gold involved, or maybe a couple of water buffalo. Sat down and he's all nervous and fidgety, a little sweating. And then they asked me for permission to marry Kimberly.
One does not simply walk into marriage. A marriage is forged with love and patience, just like these two rings.
We were in Spain for a festival, and it was the last night, and with fireworks going on. It was just the two of us.
She was like, oh my God, I'm so glad you did it, and it's just us. And I was like, yeah, at least it's not corny, because like, you don't have to deal with anybody applauding. And that's when the fireworks ended, and people all over the city started applauding, and I was like, whoa, screw you guys, man.
So I'm wishing my baby, love you baby, long and joyous and happy marriage. And that's about all I'm gonna get out.
We are proud to gain a daughter into our Shaw family. Please, everyone, raise your glass.
May your love story be full of love, laughter, and just enough magic to feel enchanted forever.
We're just good and pretty adaptable to pretty much whatever life throws at us.
I just don't want to imagine life without him.
By the power vested in me in the state of Ohio, it is my honor to pronounce you husband and wife. I'm going to try not to cry when I say this. Clay, you may now kiss your beautiful bride.
Now, upon meeting Clay, I was taught a cheers. If you don't know it, you will know it by the end of the night. If you can all say it with me. There are good ships, there are wood ships, there are ships that sail the sea, but the best ships are friendships, and forever may they be.
I've always been weird, yeah. She was very nervous that she was gonna out-weird me, and I was like, listen here, you think you can out-weird the master? I'll have you know if I wasn't fighting a raccoon right now, I'd be hanging out with you. She's so in love with Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, our dog, anything dealing with serial murder stuff, which makes me kind of nervous. So technically, he is my stepdog, but you know, legally, I know he looks at me as a father. Beating a pigeon to death, like in the middle of St. Marco's Square, and not that I would ever hit her.
These peasants won't kill themselves.
Believe it's pronounced, walk this way!
Did a great job. I did find out that he was thinking about doing it coming back from Ireland to Cincinnati, like right before we have to like go through the customs line. And that would have been a little bit of a reaction.